Okay, children, so we have done with the types and methods of communication. Now let's start with the next topic of this unit's feedback in communication. So when we talk about feedback in communication, we talk about the response of the receiver, or what he gets from the sender. When sender sends a message, communicate a message, receiver accepts it, right? And what does receiver do? It will send a feedback back to the sender whether he has got the same message which is intended to be sent, right? So feedback completes a two-way communication, right? Feedback ensures successful delivery of a message, that yes, your message has been shared, your message has been, whatever you want to send, it has been received. So we know what is decoding, what is encoding, what is a communication channel, and what is the your sender or a messenger, a message. We all have discussed and we have understood the concept. Now let's talk about feedback. It is intimation about successful delivery of the message, right? It ensures the message had been successfully conveyed and the communication is effectively successful. So when we talk about feedback, what are the different forms of feedback? A smile or a nod, it's a body gesture, right? In interactive in-person communication. A question or a clarification or reiteration can also be a type of feedback. Clear? Now next, a thank you note or an acknowledgement note can be a type of feedback in written or digital communication. Next, audience clapping or hooting are two types of feedback that are possible in public speaking. So this is all about your different forms of communication, forms of feedback. Now next, when we talk about feedback, it is important as it ensures the success and effectiveness of communication, right? Now next we have characteristics of feedback. When we talk about characteristics of feedback, means the role of feedback is to make a communication effective. And what are the different characteristics of an effective communication? So first is communication, intention. Then you have, it should be specific. The feedback should not be vague enough. No, it should be conveyed with clarity. Then fair and non-judgmental. What does it mean? It does not pass in judgment on the message. It merely expresses if the message is received in the right form or not. Clear? Now, timeliness means when we talk about effective feedback is one of that intimates the sender about the message in time. Clear? Usefulness, effective communication, effective feedback is something that aims to improve the overall communication. It should be useful. Clear? Clarity, the feedback must be clear in its form and should be in understandable format. Clear? So these are some characteristics of a feedback, of an effective feedback. Now let's talk about the types of feedback. Types of feedback, it can be in various forms and various types. So there are few, we are discussing these three: formal, informal feedback, descriptive and non-descriptive feedback, and the third is your specific and non-specific feedback. Formal means something in a format or a structure, right? Using which the receiver frames the feedback and resends it again. It could be, if I say, suppose, congratulations on scoring 95% in your final test performance, you are promoted to your next class. This is the best example of formal feedback, right? Informal, where can say it does not stick to a specific structure, such as instant comments you can say to the listener, like sorry, good job, congratulations. So these are some informal feedback, right? Then when we talk about descriptive and non-descriptive, where I only liked your second paragraph, others need improvement. So such type of example is the best example of descriptive, where you describe the complete the what you want to explain. You have described all, right? Suggestion kind of. Now next we have so it's a non-descriptive, right? When descriptive means all the paragraphs should cover basically one idea. Only one paragraph is fictitious and other paragraphs covered the multiple ideas, and the information was also not cohesively linked. So where you are describing all. The earlier example was of non-descriptive feedback. Now this, in your article, the conclusion did not reiterate your observation, such type of thing where you are explaining all about the message you received or the article you read. It is all about your descriptive feedback. Now let's talk about specific and non-specific feedback, where you talk about a thing or a point particularly without talking much about the general overview. Like, I like this only. I like the way you described your grandpa's character. So where you are precisely pointing the thing where you really like the content. Now non-specific, where talks the entire thing in general. It does not particularly pinpoint a specific thing or a feature. Like, I liked your topic, I like your story, it's good. It's a general, where you are not specifying where it needs an improvement, or where it actually something very good you have seen. So this is all about your specific and non-specific feedback. Now, importance of feedback in a nutshell, I want to explain it. Now first is your when we talk about importance, forms the basis of better understanding, helps avoid mistakes, motivates with constructive and positive feedbacks, helps in creating accepting and friendly work environment, promotes personal and professional growth. It boosts learning by bringing focus to goals. So this is all about the importance of a feedback. Children, in this particular topic we have understood about the feedback as such, types, the features, their forms. You must have heard about positive feedback and negative feedback also. Positive feedback means when you appreciate the action and process. And negative means where you contradict or complained about the message you received or work the other person has done. That is also a part of communication. How you handle that negative feedback and how you take that negative feedback, that is something very important. So it could be like you can get both the feedbacks at the same time. So this is all about your importance of feedback, characteristics, types. What types of feedback can you see for giving instant feedback? What type of feedback should be used when it is to be stored for some legal purposes? All we have understood in this particular session. So this is all about your feedback in communication. Now we'll discuss in the next session about the effective communication principles and barriers, and that will be the last topic of this session, because the other two chapters, writing skills, it's like grammatical one that you can easily read from the book. This you are learning from since your class 3 onwards. You have heard about all the grammar rules and how you are using, what are the different type of sentences, how you are writing a particular concept or idea. This you can easily understand with the help of your chapter content which is mentioned in your book. So in the next session we will learn about the principles and barriers of effective communication. That's it in this session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. You must have learned something, and that will help you a lot in your board exam preparation. God bless you all. Thank you, beta.